So I'm nervous. You'll do great. Look at me go. Like I told you not to push the button. Like I can't. It's the giant pace. Like granddad coming off of his cough medicine. This is my pain. Steady as a rock. Yeah, this is my pushing hands. Just sure. I got one. Okay. What? They have snacks. They do? You want some snacks? What kind of snacks? I don't know. I think they got like fruit snacks and like peanuts, other things. That'd be good for the mic. Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna snack. But you can snack. Push your buttons, eating snacks. For just us? It's pretty close. I mean, it's probably the biggest room we've ever had was for the in-flight, which means it's like a crowd. So that was probably but no, this is so much for doing segments. So he can hear you too. Right now he can hear us talking about the thing. It was you the whole time. I figured if I just kept uncomfortable eye contact and kept waving, you'd get it. You'd get it. I know. Let me know if we're good. Okay, it's gonna be a bit. I gotta do the ambulance stuff.
Why, hello everyone. Goodness. There you go. Now, so much for coming tonight. We are super excited to show off all of the things for the 3 game lines that we have for the roadmaps. I just want to let you all know that we do want to be respectful of people's time, and as such, we're going to do this a little differently than we have in years past. What we're going to do is we're going to be doing it in 3 segments. So we have Shatterpoint first, Crisis Protocol second, and then we will conclude with Legion. So if you're here for Legion, sorry, you're going to stick through the whole thing, but I promise it'll be worth it. But when we finish with each segment, I know there are events, there's things to do, there's a lot of awesome stuff to do at Adepticon, so if you do want to stand up and go enjoy the rest of the show, we're going to take like a 5-minute break at each section, so you can do that. Don't feel weird about it, don't feel awkward, nobody's going to like hit you with the classic spotlight that they do at all of those like timeshare things and be like, where are you going, sir? You can just hop up, go enjoy the show. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, from all of my colleagues and everything else. Thank you so much for all of your support. It's been amazing, wonderful. We absolutely just love getting to come here, watching you all enjoy, the games that we make, getting to interact with each and every one of you if we can. Just seeing the energy, it really reinvigorates us. I mean, we have so many staffers here who came just on their off time because they love this show, they love hanging out with the community, they love seeing everything. So again, just know that we're also grateful and thankful for everything that you all do, the fact that you interact with us and love these products as much as we do. So thank you. We got 2 great days left of Adepticon left, which is awesome. Normally we did this on Sunday, so it was like everyone was kind of dead, ready to go. But now we get 2 more days to hang out, chill, and talk about all the cool stuff that we're going to show off. I'm going to say right now that if you checked out the cool display cases filled with all the awesome painted miniatures that Dallas and his team have worked on and gotten done by fantastic painters across the world, there's going to be some extra ones in there. So there's some surprises for tomorrow based on what we're going to show tonight. So if you already made your stop, come back around and stop again. You'll get to see some cool stuff in person, not just on the screens. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into Star Wars Shatterpoint. All right, so first up, the thing we want to talk about with Shatterpoint is going to be, it's going to be a refrain that if you're here for all 3 of the panels, you're going to hear quite a bit. But one of our big pushes this year and things that we were working on last year and we're happy to be rolling out this year is a brand new organized play program. This program is featuring a lot of in-store support, so if you happen to listen to some of our talks on Legion or on the Gamma discussions that happened with Ross, who presented to our fabulous retailers, you might have heard some of this, but I want to give you kind of the overview of it so we can go ahead and jump to the next slide just to kind of show off an example of one of the kits. So a big thing that we're going to be doing is our goal is to kind of reinvigorate and stabilize organized play within the store level. It's amazing to come to Adepticon playing these huge events. We obviously did the big grand tournaments, the global grand tournament system. We did that last year, which has brought bigger tournaments to more regions across the globe, and we're looking to expand and build on that as well. But the next step that we really wanted to dive into was the local level, so store level. What we've done is we've created brand new store tournament and league kits. These are combined kits, and what they do is they allow stores to run events that are either single-day tournaments or multi-week leagues. The pricing in them has pricing for everyone who plays, so every player who plays all of the rounds that are included in the event all get the same prizes. We do want to recognize player skill and achievement, however, so the top 4 get a specialty stance, which I think is on this slide. Yeah, you can see it there with Mr. Kit Fisto. So they get a specially gold-foiled stamped top 4. In addition, the winner of the event does walk away with a really cool plastic stat card. So if you've gotten any from our prize wall, you might have seen some of those already. It's going to be the same kind of thing. So just a really cool premium card that you can have, maybe use if that's a character you like, or you can add it to the binder and be like, this kind of marks the events that I won. There's going to be 3 of these per year, which means that the events are going to rotate out regularly, which means you're going to see a stable influx of new and exciting prizes to go get. And they're going to be, again, accessible to the vast majority of players, unless you're really chasing that plastic stat card at the top for the champion. But otherwise, you're going to be guaranteed to walk away with stuff. And that's really important to us. Atomic Mass has always had a strong foundation of the fact that we want organized play to be rewarding for play, right? It's right there in the name. It's super important. The cool prizes shouldn't be locked behind just winning, right? We want to recognize player skill, but we also want to really celebrate and reward the fact that we're all here. We're all enjoying these games and we're all playing together. So that's going to be the first part of that, and then we can jump to the next one. So in addition to these 3 times a year kits, there are going to be kits that are more premium that will have further prizing in them. Things like exclusive dice and other kind of rewards and things like that. Those will rotate out on a longer basis. They won't be like 3 per year. They'll be 1 or 2 per year. And they'll shift out. So these are for events like if you're going to have a big celebration in your store, you want to have kind of like a tournament cap that closes out a multi-week league or several of the smaller store events. You can run one of these and you can have these as well. They're a great way to bring in like multiple communities. So if your area has like 3 or 4 stores, they're within driving distance. These are kind of the ones that you want to bring in to have your bigger events and kind of replicate a little bit of that GT excitement and pricing at there as well. So these will be coming out as well later. We're really excited to be able to offer this. These are in addition to the retailer support kits, which we started last year, which if Shatterpoint players, you happen to have a store that participated in our Crew of the Ghost program, you know that there were some pretty cool Crew of the Ghost promo cards that came with that for the order settings. And those go across all of the different games. So again, our goal really is to dive in. We know that the core hobby store, the local game store, that's the source of life that brings us all here. It makes us all want to come to Adepticon. It's very, very important. We take their success very seriously. We view it as our success. And so we're really pushing forward into this next year to start this program and really start to build on it. And these are kind of the places where we're going to start. So let's move on to cool new reviews and rules and all that good stuff. So you probably saw these guys in the case, but we do have, first up, the Deploy the Garrison Squad Pack. So this features part of our Rogue One Way, which was a big push for this year. We talked about a lot of mini-strap and things like that. Director Krennic, his Shore Troopers, his Death Troopers, the Death Trooper Specialist that comes with him as the secondary. And this was a really fun one for us to work on. Overall, just because a lot of us in the studio really enjoyed the Rogue One movie, but also the idea that we got to build more into some of those iconic things that we've seen but haven't really gotten into the game. Like now you can build an entire squad around a primary with Death Troopers, which was really exciting to us. Or you can run in the Shore Troopers, excuse me, to play with all the Stormtroopers. Krennic was a real blast for us to develop as well, trying to make him really like haughty and kind of like, well, kind of a dick. And then have that reflected in his rules and his choices. So we're really happy with where this paired out, and of course it's countered by, in its release month, the All the Way Squad Pack. And this was a labor of love from our lead developer, Michael Plummer, and the rest of the team, putting together all of the Rogue One crew. And so Cassian Andor gave us a bit of fits. We were trying to figure out how to let him, blow up things and have these climactic moments, especially that moment in Jeddah where he realizes that like everything's about to blow and all of the rebellion pressure and imperial oppression's about ready to cause a big riot. And we worked through that and we came up with some really cool character designs. K2SO, of course, he has so many great quotes in the movie. It was really fun to kind of push through that and figure those things out. And so with all of that, that's where that pack landed, and we're really excited for the stance cards to come out. There's a lot of fun things there, so you can watch for that. Coming up real soon on everything else, we talk more and more about that. And of course, we have to get to the rest of the Rogue crew, which includes Jyn Erso, Bodhi Rook, Chirrut Imwe, and Baze Malbus. No card previews here yet, but they are going to be coming. I know, it's okay. You can do it. You can do it. I can't make everyone happy all the time. It's a failing of mine that I continue to work on. However, this character pack, really fun. Having ways to figure out where Baze and Chirrut could be a dual kind of supporting character role, so they work together like Han and Chewie in the This Is Some Rescue pack. Getting the double-sided stance card that goes with them and how that kind of interacts with the way the two fight. As well as kind of how each approaches combat was a really fun challenge and something that was really neat to do. And then of course Jyn being kind of the face and the main character in some respects of that movie overall. We had a lot of fun kind of plugging them into Rebels and then bringing a new kind of option and opportunity for how players play that. And so we're really excited to see players bring that to the thing. Along with that, this kind of ties in a little bit, but not with Rogue One, but with Andor. We had the opportunity to do some new terrain, just to kind of like flesh out tables. You saw this in the case downstairs. If you took a look at the Studio Display Ministries case, but we have the Outer Rim Outpost Terrain Pack. This one's really cool. Of course, one of the neat things about working on pieces like this is that they kind of do dual purpose. So while we do call it a Shatterpoint terrain piece, it obviously works really great on Legion games. We've been using them for playtest because we got a bunch of them, and so we've put them together and we've been using them as line of sight blockers, which has been really nice. But just a fun design, something that Dallas Kemp himself spearheaded. He saw it in the episode where they're doing the big bank heist, and he was like, I want to make this. And so we made it. And of course, it continues the overall theme of bringing little critters along to the game as well.
Look at that bog wing.
It is a bogwing, yes, yes. It's so cute, it's so cute. All right, jumping on to later in the year, we're going to have the Delta Squad, Form Up Squad Pack. So we talked, if you were with us at the last roadmap, we showed off like the Council Squad Pack, we showed off the Kid Fisto Squad Pack requesting your surrender. We talked about how a lot of players who have joined into Shatterpoint want to play Oops All Sabers. And so we've been moving towards that. But there's another contingent within the contingent of people who like to play Galactic Republic, team squads within stuff. They want to play Oops All Clones. And let me tell you, the Delta Squad, Form Up Squad Pack, all of the characters in there have been designed to really make that clone-only strike team sing. And they are very fun. We had to dial them back significantly from where they started because they were just like, they were like, oh, Vader, you're cute. And then boss would just like boink and Vader would fall over. And it was like, that's too much. So, but they have some really cool synergies where they have cross tags, so they'll work, a lot of their abilities will work with both clone commandos and clone troopers, but they work better with clone commandos. So if you have the clone commandos in your collection from the Luminara pack, you can really start to make like this cohesive squad of commandos that functions really well together and is really cool. So we're very excited, not only as fans of the video game from where these characters came from, but just in general to see all of this stuff coming into players like repertoire and all of the different options and opportunities they're going to bring, as well as the mixing and matching that can go on with it. Of course, if you're going to bring some Republic heroes with you, you got to bring some Separatist villains with you. And what better way to do it than with Simone Elliott's favorite character, which is Riff Tamsin. So our boy Riff here was my personal favorite of the stuff for the year that we designed for Shatterpoint, because the challenge was, how do you make Jaws, the Star Wars character, feel like Jaws? And so one of the really great things that we were able to play with that character and that design is the fact that a lot of Shatterpoint tables are designed to be played on multi-level terrain. So while we can't necessarily say, oh, the table's underwater, that's how he gets you, that'd be weird because most of the characters don't belong underwater. We were able to do things like he can have a death from a below attack because he can burst through like the grates and he can get you from the ground level. And so he does a lot of cool things with jumps and elevation changes that affect his combat prowess. And then we have No Siree, his little Quarren like lackey who he bosses around during the arc in the Clone Wars where they're fighting for Mon Cala. And he has some devious underhanded tactics. A lot of this stuff also has unique underwater or aquatic keywords, which does some interesting stuff as well within the squad that can also apply later on as we continue to flesh things out and move things forward. And of course, if you looked at the case, you saw how gigantic those aqua droids are. They're just phenomenal. Aqua droids are probably my favorite droid at this point just because of how chunky and huge they are. So a really fun pack to put together and pull off. We do really love diving into kind of these corner case or like lesser known characters as well with Shatterpoint. It's one of the joys of working on the game, to like give the spotlight to characters that we might see, we might be attached to, and then to actually get to play fully themed games and squads around them and tell our own Star Wars stories. So let's take a look a little bit into some characters that are going to be coming out next year. Go ahead. So we have... This pack sadly winds up being both tribute to a great actor and a great performance, as well as, you know, a really fun addition to the game, bringing more life to new eras of Star Wars. So more for the new Republic era. So the Disney Plus, obviously Ahsoka themed stuff. We're bringing in Baylan Skoll, Shin Hati, and the HK droids that go along with them. This pack, again, a lot of fun to really work on. Was an interesting one just due to the timing of how things unfolded, and we really wanted to make sure that you know, we paid a good homage to this character and everything else, and you know, we're excited to see where it goes from here. But yeah, so it's going to be really fun to kind of, again, step into this New Republic era with these characters. They have a lot of really interesting synergy with each other and how they play. Shin Hati was a terror throughout playtest, and we had to do a lot to kind of rein her impetuousness in. And the way in which we were able to really reflect the personalities and character and relationship between master and apprentice within those rules and how they both play a very different game. Balin has one of the more unique hunker token mechanics since Obi-Wan, and he really plays with that wait and see game and can turn those into some significant power for him and his squad. So just a really fun new way to kind of explore tactics and mechanics within the game in new and different ways. And then of course, accompanying them, we have another pack of really great villains. We have My Love to My Life. So Morgan Elspeth, along with Captain Enoch and the dreaded Night Troopers. The challenge here really was talking about how do you make zombies in the game, right? So we tried a lot of different things to have these undying stormtroopers that can come back and do weird things with the wound mechanics and all of that. Really happy where we kind of wound up. It took a lot of effort and work from the dev team and everything else. And then another fun challenge with the sculpting and engineering team was how do you make zombie-looking stormtroopers that don't look like they're just falling over? And so we went through a lot of poses. We had some great performances from Dallas Kemp and Kevin Kirkus about like, this is how a zombie stands. This is how things drag. No, I want the blaster to drag this way and all of that. So that was really fun. And then Morgan herself actually has a couple of options. So you can build her miniature depending on if you want her a little bit pre-Night Sister full transformation or after Night Sister transformation. And she's got a couple of special magical effects that you can add too. So we like throw it in those little kickers there as well. So that's kind of it for the new releases that I have to show you right now. However, I do have one thing that we've been working very hard on that I think you'll all be excited about, and that is in May, we're going to be doing a character rebalance. So it's been a little while since the game launched, and we've seen a ton of games played. We as developers have grown in our understanding of the game, how things function, what is valuable in a game of Shatterpoint, what we might have thought was valuable but turned out to be less valuable in the game of Shatterpoint, what might have not have worked at all. And we've also, of course, as we've moved forward, we've seen like, okay, players really love it when supporting characters have this amount of health and this amount of defense because that's what makes them useful and long-term within the game. And so we've taken all of that data and we've put it all together and we've looked at that initial offering of characters and releases that came out within the first year or so of the game. And we put everything through the ringer again. We looked at it all, we said, okay, what's good, what's bad, what do we want to fix, how do we want to adjust things? And so we're going to be presenting all of that work to you for free as a print and play update in May of 2025. And you're going to get things like Mace Windu as, what is he, a seven squad point character now instead of a 6. So, because we realized that, at the time we thought 6 was going to be a really interesting place for him to sit, and it was going to force some interesting squad building, and he was going to be powerful enough around it, but what we realized is that really crimps all of the squad building opportunities, and players really want to play with Mace because he's a cool guy. He's a badass, and I'm not going to finish that. It's a family show. So we made a change there. We affected his Shatterpoint ability, and we've tuned his Shatterpoint ability to have more impact on the game and to trigger more often so that instead of him triggering the ability when you choose him with the Shatterpoint, it just happens every time he has the Shatterpoint. And we changed the effects to make sure that they were always impactful. Anakin Skywalker went through a bit of quite a bit of discussion and everything because there were times where you made a change and he became just monstrous and ran the game into the ground, and then there were times where you didn't make the change and he wasn't quite where players and we wanted to see him. One of the things that we did do for some of the powerful characters like Anakin, one of the complaints is if he's not there, if he's not into combat, he's not doing his thing. So he has a ranged attack now. He can force blast you, which gives him the ability to kind of reach out and touch, which is really great. And we also took a look at probably one of the most powerful abilities in Shatterpoint, which is this is where the fun begins. And we really dialed that up by making it not have to target the same thing. So if he gets into you, you're going to be in trouble. And then, of course, there's some other characters on there. Ahsoka went through a pretty big blow up, fourth sister as well. the Inquisitors, and many, many more. The 501st Clone Troopers also got a relook. Got to be able to play all those Clone Trooper units. The 212 as well also will be featured with some changes. And then we also made sure to take a look at some of the higher end performers. Sorry, Vader, Jedi Hunter players, you little bit down. But all of that stuff's going to be out, so we're really excited to see that reinvigorate the game, reinvigorate players' collections, so that you can explore all the things that you may already have or have played with new eyes, fresh set of abilities, and just kind of continue to push that balance of the game to be imperfectly perfect, like we always talk about. Maybe. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the timeline. You'll have to wait till May. So here's the quick timeline of everything we talked about and where things are releasing, so that you can snap a photo of that and kind of know where the things are. Of course, we've got a lot of things that aren't on the calendar because they're not necessarily like product related that are coming. For those of you who did the Galactic Legends event and helped us playtest the second half of that, we have a ton of stuff coming that's going to be for that, including the initial batch of characters that we've done through the beta test and the testing here. We have more characters in the work, including Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, all of that good stuff. So we're really looking forward to pushing that forward. We have more key operations, we have more mission packs, all these things that are in the works along with everything else. So we're really excited and amped up to continue to support and grow all of the different play experiences and modes with the game, with new releases, with new missions, with new game modes, all of that stuff that we're always with. And we're really excited to continue to push forward on organized play and bring an entirely new community together at the game store with Star Wars Shatterpoint. So thank you so much, Shatterpoint players, for sitting with us and talking about everything. This is where we're going to take our little 5-minute break, so if you want to get up and go enjoy the show, please do so. No judgments here, and then we will pick back up very shortly. You look so happy, Ben. You're doing great. You're pushing those buttons like a master champ. Oh, you gotta stretch it out. I think we're ready. Round 2. Fight! All right. Marvel Crisis Protocol. So kicking things off, similarly to how we started with the Shatterpoint, we're going to talk a little bit about store organized play. So go ahead and jump to it. So just like we just discussed, right? Big push for this next year, getting more and more organized play into the store level. We of course have the retailer support kits. If your stores have participated in that program, if they're looking to participate in that program, those are free supports that are available to them through their Asmodee representatives and their Asmodee distribution units. We really want to make sure that we're working in unison with our retailers to promote big releases like Apocalypse, like the Monsters Unleashed pack, all those things with cool new rewards, gold, Apocalypse cards, all that kind of cool stuff. In addition to that, starting this year, we're going to have the free store tournament league kits. Again, these are kits that can be played as either single-day events or multi-week leagues, and they have prizing for all the rounds in them that all players get. If you wind up finishing in the top 4, you do get gold foil stamps. That's a hard word to say. Top 4 awards of the last round card. And then, of course, for the champion of the event, they will get a plastic stat card as well, so that they'll have that to go with it. We're really excited about how these things will work and where they're going with that. And so we're committed again to bringing that stuff in. We also have plans for more event kits that have different game modes in them, and like previous ones, Vibranium Heist, Mutant Masterworks, those kinds of things. And of course, larger tournament store kits as well that will allow players to have bigger or larger celebration events, maybe bring in a couple of different communities together and kind of replicate that GT experience like the GTs that we started last year. And so again, this is something that we're working towards. We have a lot of plans, a lot of work going forward with, but we're really committed to making sure that play at the store level will feel similar-ish, but it'll never compare to a play at an Adepticon. And we want to make sure that everyone has an exciting and rewarding time doing so. Let's go ahead and jump to the next slide. So this is not necessarily new, but I did want to talk about it. Ross left it in here for me. He's not here, so I can't get him out. But let's just jump ahead a little bit. No, not from the slide. So for those of you who know, I'm gonna use this opportunity to really get it, because I'm going to talk about something that wasn't necessarily on the slide deck, but now he's set me up, so we're going to do it. So the Crisis card pack for this year, War of Kings. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the new Crises who've gotten to play it. I know there was an event here about that. I know in the US it was a little delayed, so hopefully you'll get your chance to pick yours up. If you want, get to play with Gladiator, all that cool stuff. We talked a little bit on stream about what this new program, what this new product type is. And one of our big things that we're focusing on from now to the near future going forward is to make sure that we have new Crises injected every year. The way we're going to do that is through the Crisis card packs. And one of the really fun things about this product type and the way in which we're able to introduce these cards is that we get to theme them around a Marvel storyline or arc, which really helps us as developers come up with cool ideas to really change and kind of shake up the way the game is played, maybe introduce new objective types and things like that. And then, of course, if you want to, and you want to play through the War of Kings storyline, you get to kind of see how our narrative brains worked in creating these crises as we went through these awesome comic stories. So War of Kings was this year. I'm just going to tell you what next year's is because, you know, Ross made a mistake, so why not? So next year's is going to be all about mutants and sentinels, and it is the Tolerance is Extinction Crisis pack. This pack has been spearheaded by our own Ben Ransom. He's been doing some pretty incredible work. We threw some pretty wild ideas at him to really shake up what crises could mean, what objectives could mean. You're going to see a new objective type. They have arcs. You can turn them around, camera style, all of this stuff. There's going to be non-limited, unlimited, how would you say that? Sources. There's going to be sources. That's really boring. I don't like that word, man. But I guess we'll workshop it later. Test dispensers, yes. So there's going to be a new type of extract, which effectively the token doesn't get picked up. You just pick up an asset from it, which allows for more scoring opportunities and more ways to interact with how extract tokens work within the game and how you function around them, especially with the secures and the new secure types that we have. So a lot of really cool things coming. And of course, this goes back into our work within the organized play system and the Challenger document, where we're now able to create competitive formats that rotate out certain crises and have a fresh mix. And that allows players who are not playing within a tournament setting to enjoy all of the different crises. It really opens us up as developers to be able to explore fun ideas that maybe don't work within, you know, a round-timed kind of tournament setting, but work great when you're just playing the game as intended right out of the box, right? Just with your friends across the kitchen table or at the game store on open game night. And we want to have those experiences, right? Those are the things that really draw us to the game. And then when you step into that Challenger tournament or anything else, you can now have to hone your skills against a limited selection of these things and think about how it impacts your roster, how it impacts your team tactic card selection, all these different things. And so we've already kind of started that process here with the current Challenger document and the addition of the War of Kings Crisis card pack. As we move forward, Tolerance's Extinction Crisis card pack is going to continue to build on that and allow us even more opportunities. And again, it's going to bring some things that are going to really shake up the game in terms of how those things work. And you can expect that pack coming up next year around the same time as War of Kings. So there's a lot to look forward to. We're really excited to finish that one and bring it across the line. But playtesting has been really positive on it. We've had a lot of fun with how we've been able to bring a lot of new strategies and tactics to the game. All right, we're just gonna zip right by this one because this one definitely wasn't supposed to be on there. Because everyone knows, and we've all seen the cards, and so this was for Ross's Gamma presentation. We left it in. They're super cool anyway. Like, we love them. It's great. But let's just go ahead and jump to the next part. Okay, so I want to take a moment and we want to talk about restocks and reissues. And so we know that there's a lot of the original character packs and things like that that have become more and more difficult to find, that they're starting to disappear in the wild. And this is somewhat intentional on our part, because what we are looking to do as we move forward is to continually reissue some of the original releases into new combined packs. And so you've seen this work throughout the last couple of years, but it really ramps up this year and moving into next. This allows us to move everything into multilingual, which is really important for the logistics and the global availability of the products. It also allows us to control pricing. So as you all know, 2 character packs does not equal typically the cost of an affiliation pack. It's really important that we make the game accessible, that we allow players the ability to be able to jump in and understand things. And rather than re-release the same things in a new package and charge you $10 more, we'd rather charge you $15 less. It just makes sense because it brings more players into the game. It lets you have more fun. It lets you have those opportunities. So we obviously have a lot of characters. We have a lot of character packs. There's a long road. We wanted to give you kind of a zoomed-in view of some of the ones that are even coming this year. I think the next slide has the one that everyone's going to really want to know about. Nope, I lied. It's the one after that, but that's okay. So we have these ones as well that are coming. Sorry. You'll know it when you see it. It has a Colossus and a Magic in the title. I know. I read all the comments. I do. I read every single one of them. So of course these are here. The other thing that I want to talk about, you can jump to the next slide, that is really cool about this process. There you go. Yeah, that's the one. They're coming back. They do exist, people. They do exist. The other part of this project that was really exciting, from a development perspective and from just like an overall products perspective, is that as we went through these repacks, it gave us a chance to reevaluate characters. So for those of you who've seen the Gambit card, and the fixes and rebalances to Gambit, that is available for the first time in the prize wall here, and I know has gone all over the internet. He's not the first, nor is he the last. All of these packs, as we've been going through the reissues, we've been taking the opportunity to sit down as a development team and really deep dive on, are we happy with where this character is? Do we think they need rebalance changes? In a more kind of dynamic and progress forward way, because we're able to do it rather than as a big group, we're able to sprinkle these into our playtesting cycle. And that first batch, which is all of the ones that are releasing this year in these packs, is going to be made available to you in a character rebalance and update that's going to appear in May. So there's a number of characters that are going to be adjusted, including our boy Colossus. He's one of them. Of course, Gambit got a relook. I don't know, Ben, throw some other ones that you were really happy about, because I don't remember the whole list. Magic, Bullseye.
Sinister not.
Sinister not in this one, but actually he is in playtest right now, so. There's so many. So and the important bit to note, if they're not in this balance pass, there'll be another balance pass probably within the next 12 months, if not sooner. So you're gonna see a little bit more. Oh, is that it? You know it's true. You have to do it. They're in products. They're on the schedule. You can be mad about it all you want, Pagani. It doesn't change anything. So again, just going back to our overall commitment to the game, our excitement to be able to continue to refine, rebalance. Obviously, we do our utmost to make sure that everything we release when we release it is the best it possibly can be. Our goal is to never make a single change. Yes, Pagani, that's still the mantra. No changes is the mantra. We know that's impossible, though. The game is just simply too big. There's too many different really genius players out there who know how to get our goat and make Pagani's day sad. The innovation, the changing environments, all of these different things. No matter how much we play test, we can never match the number of games that you all play through your passion and excitement and enjoyment of the game within the first month. And so we're just committed to make sure that the game remains as steady and stable as possible. We also want to be very careful with changes, as we've talked about a lot, so we do take our time to make sure that they're fully vetted and play tested and things like that. But a great part of this reissue process is not only are these characters coming back to you in these new packages if you missed them the first time, The other great part of it is that it has somewhat sped up our ability to do these rebalances because of the dynamic nature of how they're releasing. So it's going to be a very exciting couple of years as we move through this stuff in terms of seeing that stuff. If there's a character that you are hoping might get touched, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But you'll know sooner rather than later in this case. And again, we have a slide at the end that I think everyone will enjoy, which kind of gives you the full roadmap for all of these reissues. So if you have a character that you're like, I can't find it anywhere, hopefully that slide will at least give you some confidence and understanding of where that's going to come, and that'll be at the very end of the thing. Okay, maybe not for all of you, but I know if you're here, your desire is to see the game grow as much as ours. You want to introduce your passion and your enjoyment to all the new players that are out there, all the potential players. And we have some really cool stuff coming for the end of the year, which are brand new starter options. So these are starter sets. And I want to walk you through a little bit of what a starter set is and how it's different from the core set. So for somebody who knows they want to go all in on Crisis Protocol, the core set is still an amazing option. It has your full roster of characters. It has a ton of terrain that you can use to start laying out on your table if you don't have it. It has all the templates, the tokens, the movement tools, all that stuff. You know, the only thing about that is that it is a significant investment. So if you're just like, you're unsure, you're not really convinced that maybe this is the amount of money you want to invest into the hobby first, we wanted to provide a new option. And of course, there's always the argument that maybe the Earth's Mightiest content, those characters aren't for you. You'd rather see a different assortment. So this year, we're going to be launching new starter sets. These starter sets include a full roster, so all 10 characters. They have all of the game materials you need, so the cards, the dice, the tools, the tokens, all that stuff. The only thing they're missing from the normal Earth's Mightiest core set is really the terrain. However, that means that we're able to offer these at under $100. So these new starters, wow, that was a place. Yeah. So these new starter sets are targeted to retail for $90, $89.99. And again, they're going to represent a really great way for new players to get in, players who want to jump in with the X-Men right away, players who are joining existing store communities where they know they have tables and terrain that's set up, all that good things. There's going to be some of these, like the X-Men, that will be evergreen starters, so you'll see that one like as a core product. It will continue to be available. There'll be others like the Spider-Foes here that might be more limited time, and then those contents will get broken up again into affiliation packs. And what that will allow us to do is to constantly reinvigorate and reset new starters so that there's always new opportunities for players to come in with cool things, to kind of have a rotating cast of these starter sets, to make sure that we're constantly being interesting and exciting to these different people. And so future ones that we already have planned, as Guardians as a starter, Guardians of the Galaxy as a starter, a lot of those really key affiliations, we'll likely see a moment as a new starter set for players to jump in and dive into at a really great introductory price, because we know that once you start playing the game, you're going to have a blast. You're going to want to start collecting more and more characters that are all your favorites and exploring those different team combinations. So this is a really big moment for us as a studio, and a huge initiative that's going forward to really start to amp up that acquisition, bring more and more players into the game that has grown so much in the last 6 years, and has just been amazing to watch. All right, let's go to some new rules for all of you vets who are here, because I know you already have your starters, you already have your X-Men, but you don't have a Phoenix, so let's take a look at Phoenix. So Phoenix, the X-Men's first 6th threat. She's scary. And one of the really fun things about this, and I think I saw somebody ask a question there, like, why are the 2 Phoenixes on different bases? Well, I can tell you right now, they're not 2 different characters. They're the same character. Phoenix here has a bit of a transformation problem. She starts off as a very team-oriented, like, I'm gonna heal you, I'm gonna help my team, I'm gonna protect them. And then she starts watching as, like, Wolverine gets knocked out, and Storm gets knocked out, and Rogue gets knocked out. And she's like, I gotta let it loose. I gotta let it loose. And so she turns into the Phoenix Unleashed. And the Phoenix Unleashed, of course, is absolutely terrifying. She has all the power. She has her own token mechanic in terms of how she generates Phoenix Force tokens and things like that. But there's a really fun mini game that we were able to develop, because, of course, one of the storylines that's through and through with Phoenix is the fact that Jean Grey struggles to control the Phoenix Force, that it has a mind of its own will, and those kinds of things. And so one of the development challenges and one of the fun things we got to really work on was, how do we put that into the game in a way that's fun for both players? And so while the Phoenix is super powerful, and when she becomes unleashed, she can become a real terror, the opponent doesn't just have to daze her. There are ways that you can overload her with the Phoenix Force that she basically explodes and disappears until she comes back with like the White Room and things like that. So just a really fun character, excited to see what she brings into the game. And if you played in Worlds, this is an important one, either in the Heat 1 or the Heat 2, tomorrow you can come to the tournament area and you can get your own gold foiled Worlds 2025 Phoenix stat card. So you can have the very first Phoenix stat card in the world if you participated in our first Open Worlds format. You can have one too. Okay, let's go to the next one. So coming along to fight the Phoenix on the X-Men, we have some new Brotherhood reinforcements, Avalanche, Exodus, and Lady Mastermind. We got Exodus's card up there for everyone to take a look at. He's a really cool high threat. Again, Exodus, this whole pack, we went back to basics on the Brotherhood. We leaned into the high threat, like the high threat bruisers, with Magneto and Exodus, and then their use of their pawns, as it were, the lower threat characters. So there's some fun team tactic cards in there as well. Avalanche and Lady Mastermind kind of fill out some of the lower roles. Lady Mastermind was really fun to work on because we came up with a mechanic that allows her to attack with other people's attacks. That wasn't completely broken, so we did manage to pull that one off. It took a lot of work. Ben's just nodding his head. He's like that Vietnam dog meme right now. It's just, the helicopters are in the background. I can see them. If you want to take a look at these miniatures in person, I believe Dallas just put them in the case for tomorrow, so you can go take a look at them as well. We had some stealth editions in there. Okay, let's go to the next one. These guys were already in the case. Maybe we should have held them back, but nothing to do. So, Spider-Man 2099, stat cards up there. Spider-Man 2099, funny enough, has been in development since the game started development. He was planned to be one of the first initial packs alongside Miles and Gwen, and he just wound up getting pushed, and now he's finally. So he's very different from those initial days, but his core remains the same. He is the Web Warrior's bruiser, as much of a bruiser as a Web Warrior can be. So he's the muscle of the team. He's got a lot of really cool abilities. Playtest had a blast with him. Our Web Warrior playtesters especially really enjoyed the kind of diversity he brought to the team. Ultimate Miles Morales. This is Miles, much like we had Spider-Man to Amazing Spider-Man. Ultimate Miles is Miles fully in control of his power. So that's kind of represented through his bioelectricity. But he brings it to the game in a really fun way, and is a different option for players who are looking to play a different version of Miles. And then of course Prowler. This is the Into the Spider-Verse version of Prowler, so it's not Hobby, it actually is Aaron Davis. Another character that was really fun to work on. We're excited for what they bring to the Web Warriors and the other affiliations that they fit into. Let's look at the other half of the Spider-Verse releases. You said you would... I want to point out for all the viewers at home, you said we wouldn't make another 2-threat, and we made Spider-Ham a 2-threat. So, there you go. 2 threats are always kind of an interesting challenge. I really love the animation domination feel we got. Tuneness with Spider-Ham, he's really fun. Silk, another really cool character, brings a lot of new options to Web Warriors and some of the other affiliations, and Spider Noir. I mean, he drinks egg creams and he punches Nazis. What more can you say about that? Yeah! This is what he does. All right, let's jump to the next one. So you can take a look at this crew. Also in the case, I believe Dallas just set them up. So if you want to take a look at the real miniatures. But more Defenders and Avengers reinforcements coming in. Really fun pack to work on. Excited to show off more rules for them. So again, Echo has been sculpted for I think 3 years now. We finally managed 4 years now. Thank you, Dallas. Finally got to release her. And then these were also in the case, but they're coming in to close out our year, which is Spectrum and Blue Marvel. So you probably saw these in the case as well. Blue Marvel, one of my top characters to bring into the game. I love the character in the comics. I was really excited to expose Blue Marvel to maybe more players and fans of the Marvel Universe who might not have heard of him, depending on how you kind of have come to Marvel through the different media. And of course, Spectrum, just an incredible character. And these two, if you know their relationship and kind of their challenges in the comics, really great. They do bring a new affiliation with them, which is the Mighty Avengers, which focuses on that run in the comics as well. Okay, enough with things that are painted. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. Go ahead. So Kang the Conqueror. It's about time. So, oftentimes, folks will ask me, why are these 4 characters together? And my sneaky answer is, well, they all have armor suits based off of Stark Tech. And I'm sticking to that story. So, this pack has all of the cool armor suits in it. We've got Rescue coming in with some amazing heal mechanics that make her really interesting and unique. Kang the Conqueror, who does everything with rerolls and time. Ironmonger, who's going to re-support Cabal and Criminal Syndicate. And then, of course, we have Iron Lad in case you want to play Kang before you turn bad. And so just a ton of really cool things there, some awesome stuff that's coming, and we're really excited to bringing Kang into the game, definitely one of those like bucket list things that you're always like, gotta have him, he's amazing. And the sculpt just turned out fantastic. Some characters to reinforce the Cosmos folks from Guardians of the Galaxy and some others. This pack brings back Infinity Gems in a pretty big way. Adam Warlock being, of course, a being of cosmic power, who also has his own unique bonded soul gem. So exciting to kind of show that stuff off. If you're curious what these look like with paint on them, Dallas actually snuck them in the case downstairs. And of course, the Moondragon sculpt, I mean, if you do nothing tomorrow, just go and awe at the majesty of the engineering and the sculpting on that, because it's incredible and fantastic. But these fine folks will be coming to reinforce Guardians and several other affiliations. Let's go again to space or to a different place, depending on who you're at. So, Valkyrie, now to be clear, this is Valkyrie from the Exiles, not Valkyrie who's currently in the game, which is Brunhilde. This Valkyrie only goes by Valkyrie. There you go, it's confusing, but it's what we got. So Valkyrie and her Pegasi Elendil, and then of course the Warriors 3, being the Warriors 3, all on the base. Another fun unit to design, just to kind of represent each one throughout their different attacks and powers and everything else. I mentioned at the front that I gave you a spoiler because Ross kind of he boned me with that slide that was supposed to get removed and didn't get removed, about Tolerance's Extinction. Why would we release a Tolerance's Extinction pack without a bunch of new mutants? So X Factor affiliation finally coming to the game as well with Havoc and Multiple Man. So X Factor Investigations. Multiple Man, of course, has his multiples. Jubilee, we're done. Complete. X-Men complete. We call it a day. Dallas and I can retire. We hit them all. And of course, Danny Moonstar as well. A really fun pack. We had a blast working on these fine folks. But if you got a mutant problem, of course, you need to call in the big guns. The Sentinels, they needed some more stuff. Nimrod heard your calls from the future. He's like, this is unacceptable. He zipped back. He gave Dallas a vision. And so Nimrod, Bastion, and the Omega Sentinel are going to be coming to the game. In addition, Omega Sentinel. And then the Prime Sentinels, the Omega Prime Sentinels, is always confusing because there's the character one and then there's the little guys. So the Omega Prime Sentinels are going to be in the Tolerance's Extinction pack as well. So there's going to be 4 new characters for the Sentinel affiliation coming out alongside Tolerance's Extinction, along with all the mutants. We're really excited for that. It's going to be a big event for us over the course of the year. And if you want to see Nimrod, he's in the case downstairs, and he is glorious. Okay, let's take a look at the roadmap slide because we've come to the conclusion of all the stuff for the upcoming year. So this kind of gives you, again, the layout of when things are coming and what to expect. So that's there. We'll let everyone take their snapshot. And then, because it won't fit on one slide, we also have the reissue plan. So again, like I talked about at the front, if you're wondering or curious as to a character that you haven't been able to find the pack for, it's sold out at your store, or you are having trouble online, know that we're going to get to it. Of course, it's a huge amount of reissues, right? And we want to make sure that we're continually bringing out new things, as well as reissuing old things into these packs. So we have a plan, and we're going to be executing it, and this will hopefully give you all of the information you need to be comfortable and confident in the fact that we're committed to the long term, And we do know, and we're monitoring all of these different levels, and we're trying to do our best to make sure that as things move out of the channel, we're bringing them back in a timely manner. So here's the current working title. Of course, things may shift and change a little bit as we move forward, depending on the needs and what's going on. But as we move through this, we're going to make sure that every character, of course, has its opportunity to come back. If you miss it the first time, you'll get the chance with the repack and the reissue. And that brings us to the end of Marvel Crisis Protocol. Thank you so much for joining us for that. We're going to take our 5 minutes, let everyone who wants to move on, get to the resident, and enjoy the night. Thank you again so much.
It's the moment.
Stand base. If this is yours, please come see Simone Elliott, and she will return it to you. And if not, I guess we'll put it in the Lost and Found in the Event Center. Thank you.
Official button pusher of AMG.
All right, I think we're ready to dive into the big one. Welcome everyone to the long-awaited Legion roadmap for 2025. We got a lot of content to go through. I'm not gonna lie. So let's go ahead. We're gonna start just like we started all the other ones. We're gonna talk about organized play. So go ahead and jump in. So just like we discussed, since you've all been with me the whole time, you already know kind of the gist, so I'll make this one a little quick so we can get to the other things on the docket. But store, tournament, and league kits are going to be coming out 3 per year. Again, all the same things apply, right? We're really looking to ramp up that in-store play. We're going to have the event kits that are also going to be around as well to have different game modes similar to I blinked on the name, Dynamic Exit. And the Roman Dino, which I know isn't the official name, but it's the one that I always remember, Unnatural Resources was the kit. But these are going to have, awards for all of the different players for all the different rounds. They're going to have the foil stamp top 4s. They're going to have the fancy award winner card, those kinds of things. We're really looking forward to seeing those things come in. Another really big point that I want to make about these kits and these league kits, especially as we move into all the things we're going to talk about with like the new starters and things like that we're going to get to. We also have league rules for escalation leagues. So if you're looking to really energize and bring a new community in, escalation leagues are one of the greatest ways to do it for a mass army war game, right? Because you get to slowly build your army over the course of several weeks. You get to play games, you get rewarded for it, and all that stuff. So that's going to be another component to the league that's going to be optional, or an option for players to be able to run with their communities and that kind of stuff. So we're really excited for that. Now I want to show you a brand new type of organized play that's going to be coming out for Legion first. So, in addition to having, your standard events, your big tournaments, your multi-week leagues, we really want to give players an incentive to go to their store and play more games, to engage, to have fun at game night, all that good stuff. So we took a page from our sister studio at FFG, and we looked at what they were doing for Star Wars Unlimited. And they have these really cool blind booster packs of 3 unique cards that you got for playing the game in stores and all of that. And we said, well, we can do that too. So we've created a weekly organized play kit. You see this glorious new art, so brand new art done by a fantastic artist led by our art director, Preston. These are some of the rare cards that you can get in the pack. And so each booster set, basically, each round of the weekly organized play is going to have its own unique collection of cards. There's going to be several different rarities of cards, so there's going to be chances to get holo foils of various command cards and things like that. You're going to have a chance to get a set of the 5 unique art cards that are going to be available in the packs as well. And these different unique arts have different levels of stylization. So gold foiled, hollow foil, all these different kinds of things, spot gloss. They look really amazing. And we hope that there'll be a really cool incentive for players and just a little added thing that you can go into your store, know that you're going to get to play some games, and then also get a chance to kind of engage in this collecting, card collecting and trading and kind of stuff that goes along with it. We think it'll be a really fun addition to everything else. So if you're wondering how it's going to work, we have a little bit of a spoiler display, so you can see that as a player, you're going to get your little collection card. You have a couple of different tasks you can do to get check boxes. You can get 2 packs per week over the course of 4 weeks, and then each pack is going to have 3 randomized cards in it from the set at a bunch of different levels of rarities. There are ultra super rares in the box. There's 2 of them per box, so they're the big hits, and they look fabulous and fantastic. And we're going to continue to do these kits, provided that everyone likes it. Our plans are to do them twice per year, which means that you'll have a few months with each different set to be able to collect all the cards that you hopefully want to collect, and then we'll refresh it with brand new stuff. And so we're really, really looking forward to seeing how this lands, how players respond to it. Hopefully you'll be as excited to collect a lot of these cool new art cards as we are to make them, and we've just really loved working with this artist. And we're looking forward to continue to expand on this. So again, another really big push that we have going forward into this next year to make sure that playing at the local level, growing our communities, seeing more and more players come to this game is going to be easier and easier as we have all of these different in-store opportunities and ways to partner with folks. Okay, let's jump from that into some things that we've announced, but just to kind of go over is really good. One of the big things as we move forward into the year, of course, is the reissuing and repacking of previous Legion units into the new format or into hard plastic. So we talked a couple years ago about how we had this big initiative to move all of the soft plastics into hard plastics, and to just update the sculpts, to re-engineer and renovate kind of the older look into the new material, move out of soft plastic, which is a little harder to hobby, move into hard plastic, which is high quality, captures details super well. And you've started to see the results of this as we move forward. So in the case downstairs, you've of course seen these. We've done some articles on them and things like that. We can jump to the next slide as well. But these are all going to be coming out in May for the year. And so we're really excited to start this process, right? And it's still gonna be several years of process, right? To get all of the original soft plastic into hard plastic. It takes quite a bit of work, effort, and time, and we wanna make sure that we're not just providing things that have been before in a new way, but also to provide a lot of new things that we're gonna look at as well. The B2s, along with this, are another one that has come out, obviously with the new unit size. You can go ahead and jump to it. And so this one just recently got announced, so if you're looking for B2s because they've been scarce for a while, you're ready to go. They're going to be coming out as well very soon. Clone Commander Cody and Waxer and Boyle, of course, have also been announced. We also have coming a new combined pack of Mandalorian and Grogu, Boba Fett, Daimyo of Mos Espa. So if you happen to miss on them or you're still looking for them, they're going to be coming. The IG units are also coming back here this year in a new repack. And then I think a big one, especially for players who are going to be jumping in with that Rebel starter, they're really going to want their own AA5. That one's also going to be returning. I know that one's been out for a little bit as well. So these things are all moving back in. Now let's take a look at Ahsoka Tano. You played in Worlds. You did get her unit card, so I know that that's been making the rounds and everyone's been looking at it. It was a really fun unit to work on. Andrew Dursum did a wonderful job in kind of like working through the stuff, and we came up with an idea where it was like we didn't want her to be an operative because we wanted players to have the opportunity to be able to lead armies with her on her own. So the associate keyword obviously played into that a lot, and it lets you play those 501st lists of your dreams with the 3 main characters for the 501st. And then another big thing that she's kind of issuing in initially is going to be the character attachments. So as an upgrade, you can put her into your clone units, and she brings a lot of good value to those units. She's the first of many that are coming. And again, we've talked a lot about how our goals for Legion have been, you can jump to the next one to show the command cards while I talk. So one of our big goals for the new rebalance and refresh of Legion has been, we know players have constantly said, well, I want to see my favorite characters on the table. I want to be able to see more characters come to the game. One of the challenges with that is that Legion, in its points and within its organizational rules, it only allows for so many characters before your army may not function appropriately or things like that. So we've looked for new opportunities and ways in which to get those characters on the table that allow them to be present, have an impact, but maybe not the outstanding presence that a commander and operative has. And so you're going to see more upgrades for characters that allow them to tag into units, allowing you to have those characters on the table, see them do their thing, but not have them override the overall core of Legion, which is that unit-to-unit combat, that mass army game thing. So Ahsoka Tano, her command cards make her quite powerful, quite fun to play with. And I think now it's time to answer. I need a drink first. I'm gonna make everyone pause. Chug. Just go slow. I'll go really slow. Okay. So what was it? Back in November, I was on Gray Squadron Gaming, and they asked for a spoiler like they always do. And I racked my brains, and I was like, well, I'm not really allowed to tell you anything, but I do want to tell you something because we were having a wonderful time. And I made a comment about how at Adepticon we were going to be revealing some really exciting info about the commander and operative slots for all the factions. And then Gamma happened, and they took some miniatures and they put them in a display case. And all of a sudden the community started looking at these pictures, and they saw this weird Zabrak guy with maybe it was a Z6, maybe it wasn't a Z6, and they saw this Imperial guy who looked like Callus, but then they realized it wasn't Callus, and what's going on with this? What are these things? And I'm excited to tell you that one of the big releases for this year are the very first customizable characters for Star Wars Legion. So, in the case downstairs, there were some weird-looking non-character Jedis, and there were some really strange-looking super tactical droids, and we've seen the Zabrak, and we've seen kind of the different Imperial officers. This was something that, as we moved into being fully vested in the new edition rules, I said it. Sorry, you can dock my pay later. And everything else. That we wanted to give players the opportunity to put themselves in the game. I think that for us as hobbyists and as wargamers and everything else, lifelong and that kind of stuff, that's always been a component of these games that has been most magical, right? Telling your own character story, being able to make your own kind of commander for the tabletop that espouses your tactics, your ideals, your values, those kinds of things when it comes to how you want your army to play. These customizable commanders and operatives, are a hobbyist dream. They have over 20 plus parts. You can build...
One of them.
Oh, one of them?
One of them, and I won't say which one because we're not going to show it.
Oh.
has like 40 some parts.
Oh, all right. So they have a ton of parts, right? There's a ton of customization. You can build 2 characters out of the parts from that pack, and that's really cool, right? There are weapon options, there's armor options, there's all kinds of head options, there's all these different things that you can do. And as a hobbyist, right, as a painter, as someone who collects and plays war games, just the ability to customize that way is really neat. But then we had to complete the picture, and on the development side, we had to make sure that all of those customization options have rules attached to them, so that you can actually make your very own customized commanders and operatives that play the way that you want, that represent the equipment and stuff that you chose. And so there's a brand new upgrade that's called Doctrines for these characters. You can jump to the next one and show them cool spider leg droid that they haven't seen yet. So the Doctrines are a brand new type of upgrade. These characters get to choose a certain number of doctrines. The doctrines apply a bunch of different keywords, several different abilities, and there are different combinations and basically tech trees that they unlock. And then from there you get to attach weapons and all kinds of different gear and things like that that build out the character that you want to play. So for example, if you're like, there's not really a great like roadblock operative in Empire that can stymie a Jedi, well now you can build one. And we saw that happen a couple of times. That was pretty good. And if you want, if you want that like heavy blaster Zabrak that's just going to lay down hails of fire as he supports his troops and drives them forward to, to glory, you can do that too. If you want to make a spider-legged, super tactical droid that we got to work with LFL to make because Dallas threw a fit in a meeting and was like, "You have to let me make this. I don't care. Well, we've never seen it before. It must happen." Because it's so cool, you can really slide. Yeah, with a Mega Man style cannon arm and all this other stuff, you can do that too. I think the biggest one, right, for most of us who have loved Star Wars forever is that now you can make your very own Jedi. And you can choose your lightsaber masteries, you can choose a bunch of different styles of lightsabers. You can choose whether you are a master of the Force and utilize Force, or whether you utilize your lightsaber in combat. All of these different things that go into it. And so this was a big challenge. It was a fun effort, both on the hobby side to make sure that all these parts were interchangeable and you had all these options, but also that on the development side, these characters added really interesting and cool options and opportunities for players to really customize their Legion armies, but that also didn't over or supersede the characters that are iconic to the franchise and to the event. And so players are really going to have these options, and these are going to come out right alongside the starters. So they're a great second pickup if you want to grab a starter that we're going to talk about here shortly, and also be like, all right, now I want to put myself in the game. I want to have my own commander. And we're excited to continue to explore this idea. Like, these are the first, they're not the last. We have lots of concepts and designs for more, and so we're really excited for what this brings to the game, and more player customization, more putting yourself into the Star Wars galaxy, which I think is one of the most fun things about these games in general, is that we get to play in that galaxy and tell our own stories. Not yet, but who knows what the future holds. All right. So let's jump really quick. Now we're going to start talking about the starters, which you all saw at Gamma, some of the card packs and everything else. Just to give you a feel for what's coming here around August, September, and October of the year. So of course, we've talked a little bit about the Universal Upgrade Pack. I do want to hit that again here because I think it's really important. It is a significant change to how Legion has kind of been done in the past. And that is, you'll notice in all of these new packs that Universal Upgrade cards, generic upgrade cards, start to disappear. So units are not going to have those anymore. And one of the reasons that we made that choice is because we really want to make sure that when you pick up a new unit expansion, it's because you want that unit. It's not because you're chasing one powerful card that you know you have to have, but you're not really interested in the unit. We make miniatures. The miniatures are the thing that drive the game. They're the thing that brings us to it. It's the hobby. It's everything else. You should be valuing the miniatures above everything else. If we want to make cool cards that are going to make those miniatures even cooler, then we'll just put them into a Universal Upgrade Card Pack. So there's the first Universal Upgrade Card Pack is going to take all of the generic upgrades that all the different factions can take and be available for all players to just pick up if they want. Of course, print and play is always an option as well, as we've talked about. But the first one is going to do that, and then moving forward, next year, we're going to get to talk about the next upgrade card pack, which will include new upgrades for all the different units in the game, and we're really excited to show some of that stuff and the growth. This also gives us the opportunity to do that more easily because we can make sure that players have access to it right away. We can do big batches of them rather than one at a time, all of this stuff. So it's a very exciting time and opportunity. We've been working and looking forward to this for quite some time, and it really opens up a lot of sandbox play for us to be able to do when it comes to making units feel unique and special and exciting. And then, of course, the new battle cards are going to be coming out as well, so if you need those in the printed fashion, you can grab that. It also comes with a lot of the cool support for those things like the POI tokens, the dashboard, which you've seen the acrylic version if you checked out the prize wall, and of course the Essentials pack. Which is going to have your 3-inch tool and then all of the replacements if you lose your order tokens, things like that. So very, very basic but foundational things. These are all coming. Now I'm going to stop talking and we're going to watch a really cool video before we jump into the next stuff. We might look at him again in a little bit.
Hey, he's downstairs.
That's true, he is, but we also might look at him again in a little bit. So of course, we've talked a lot about, we've had the print and play documents that have some of the changes. We have the rest of all of the updated cards in the new style, as well as a few rules rebalances that were left out of the first pack that are coming. But if you want to get the physical format of the cards as a veteran player, you want to update your collections, of course we have the card packs going. We've talked about these a lot, but again, I just want to make sure and make it clear during our big roadmap that these will be available. They're going to be available in August currently, barring any kind of logistical or shipping changes as the world continues to shift and evolve. And right now, you can jump to the next slide. We have the units and the command card packs. Command card packs have all of your faction command cards. They have all of your commanders and operatives, so all the cards that you kind of just need one of. The unit card packs are split so that if you want to get the full collection for your faction, you can grab 2 of them. We assume most players will probably need 1. Our goal here was really to make sure that these were as flexible as possible to account for all the different collections. Not everyone has 6 units of stormtroopers. Some only have 2, and our goal was to make sure that you didn't wind up with a bunch of extras that you had to pay a lot of money for, or that you had to buy 20 different packs to get all your things. And talking a little bit about the price, again, I'll go back to the fact that miniatures are the core of the AMG business. It's what we do, it's what we love, it's what our games are about. The cards support all of that through giving you the rules that you need to play the cool games. And so we've done everything we can to make sure that the transitional card packs are as affordable and player-friendly as possible. All of them will retail effectively from $15.99 to $25.99. So We did everything we could to make sure that, for the most part, they should be very easy on the pocketbooks, so that you can focus instead on getting cool new releases, like the things we're going to look at. So again, just another one that we're really looking at, trying to be very conscientious of. Let's go ahead and talk about the starters. Yeah, so we have brand new starters coming. These were announced at Gamma, so I know that a lot of folks have knowledge that they are coming, but one of the big questions was, what's inside of them? What are you going to get? We discussed at Gamma that you're going to get a 600-point recon level army, which is the new name for Legion Skirmish, which does go up 100 points. And that's going to be kind of the base level for Legion for players that start, right? The goal here was to create individual starters for players so they can pick their faction, they can have everything they need to play. Go ahead and jump to the next one. We'll take a look at what's in the Rebel one. And they can get going right away. These are balanced against each other. They have a suggested army list for your first couple of games, so you're able to, as a new player, like not have to go through the different upgrade cards and say, what do I want to put where, which command card should I take, that kind of stuff. You can just play with that set list. As you get comfortable with the game, you can start to explore and change things more. They also, of course, come with all of the things that you need to play the game. So the battle cards, the tools, the dice, the tokens, all of those good things, right? So they're all inclusive. Our goal is to make the best starting product that exists for tabletop miniatures gaming. And I think we did a pretty good job, but we'll get through the rest of them, and then you can let me know when I tell you what they cost. So we have the Empire starter. We can flip to the back of that one. So this one's like all Stormtroopers, all Scout Troopers. We wanted to kind of emphasize the core identity of the Empire. We can take a look at the Separatist Alliance one. And this is with the final art. So I know at Gamma they had some placement art. Again, just a lot of really good droids. This definitely has the most droids for your dollar when it comes down to it. And then of course we have the Galactic Republic one, which will go alongside of it. So the Empire and the Rebel ones will release in September, close to late September, and then the Republic and the Separatist Alliance ones will release in October, so very close alongside them. A little split up, but there you go. Okay, so now that you've seen all the contents and we've talked about how everything's here, I think it's time to do the big announcement on what do they cost, right? What do they cost? I've seen a lot of the guesses, and let me tell you, no one even got close. You're going to be able to get these starters for $95. So one of the big things, right, is that we believe in this game so much. We believe that all you have to do is play it, and once you play it and you get connected with the community that's around it, and you see all that stuff, you're going to be hooked for a long, long time. And so it's our job with these starters, it's our goal to just get players to give it a try. To see that Star Wars has this awesome miniatures game, that there's a cool community around it, that you get to play games, you get to paint your own army, you get to customize your Star Wars experience. And so it might not be good business, but that's what we did. And I'm really excited. I think that, like we've talked about a lot, this is going to be a huge year for Legion. This is our big push. We have the opportunity to fill this room twice over next year for the next roadmap. And these are the cornerstone of all that. We're going to be putting a lot of our studio efforts towards it. We're really excited to see all these new players come in and really start to just grow the communities in the game overall. And so that's the starters. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that are going to be coming out in support of the starters. You've seen these characters a few times, but of course the Heroes of the Rebellion, they're going to be coming out alongside the Rebel starter. They're including all of the iconic faces. If you want the new Commander Luke, this is another great way to get him without having to get a starter if you already have enough of the starter contents as well as a veteran player. And we've tried to make sure that all of the characters within those starters will be available in separate product offerings for players so that they don't feel compelled to have to go get a starter that they may or may not want if you already play the game. So know that the Vader, the Obi-Wan, and the Grievous will all be available as well, some of which we'll cover here. And then we have, of course, the brand new Clone Marksman unit, which is going to be the second core option for Galactic Republic. These guys bring the long-range firepower to the Force, and they also bring a couple of the missing heavies, or the rearranged heavies, from that initial unit. They have everyone's favorite ARC troopers. I know, go ahead, that people are really looking forward to these guys, as it were. And a big change here that folks have probably started to notice is that Fives and Echo are no longer in this box. We've moved them to the Heroes of the Galactic Republic box because you only need one of them, so because they're characters. So we kind of rearranged as we re-engineered this pack to be more efficient with everything going on there. And then we have the big boy himself, Grievous on a wheel bike. No. And Grievous is special for a lot of reasons. One, he is the first of our mounted commanders. So a brand new kind of avenue to explore for these characters is putting them on a steed, and Grievous happens to have his wheel bike. No picture can do this miniature justice, so I forced Dallas Kemp to put him in his own bag, and he's downstairs. And then going to the next one, we have the Imperial Probe droids. Long overdue to come into Legion, so we're excited to offer these as a kind of a special choice that go along with Empire armies, and they're going to be part of a big Hoth kind of push that's going to happen alongside their release next. But we're going to jump to some backup for General Grievous. So the TSN EU6 personal wheel bikes, which is a mouthful, so I'm just going to call them wheel bikes from now on. They have two driver options. You can do the BX droid, which is the base. You can upgrade them to have IG 100 Magna droids, which obviously gives them a bit more combat potential in close. These guys are really cool. They're also in the case because pictures just don't do them justice. So you can see Grievous with all of his motorbike bros causing havoc down there. They displaced like a whole shelf of stuff because they're just that chunky and cool. But really excited to see those together. These guys are going to herald kind of a Speed Demons Battle Force style thing for Separatists as well. It's going to be coming out later next year. And of course, we have some Imperial reinforcements with the Imperial High Command. These guys were also in the case downstairs, so I know if you were at the show, you had the chance to see them. Really excited to offer this box. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be in there, including, Thrawn himself, who was a very interesting challenge to get right within playtest, but we had a lot of fun with that, and everything that's going on, and of course, a new sculpt for Director Krennic. Moving from that, going back kind of to the Hoth level, we also have next mounted characters, which is Han and Luke on Tauntauns. So the second of our mobile mounted characters that'll be coming out. Another really fun add-on. These guys also herald the resculpt of the original Tauntauns, so they're going to be coming in hard plastic as well alongside of it. So you're going to have the opportunity to flesh out your mounted rebel forces. And as I discussed with the ARC Troopers box, the Heroes of the 501st, the Heroes of the 501st pack, Heroes of the Republic, we were able to do, of course, a new hard plastic Clone Captain Rex. This is also where you can get your new Obi-Wan sculpt if you'd like to do that instead of grabbing the starter. Brand new Anakin. Anakin's such a big deal. We wanted to go back and kind of do a different version of him, so you could have some options in the looks between kind of the movie and then more of the Clone Wars aesthetic. And then, of course, Fives and Echo are also in this pack. We have some new point of interest tokens that are going to be coming. Dallas did a great article on how to hobby using some of the terrain features that are available in Legion. But if hobbying's not quite your thing, or you think these are really cool, which they really are, you can grab these as well and have a little bit more pizzazz and coolness on your table than just having the tokens. And then, of course, I said we'd get back to him, and we probably should. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just talk about Hondo. So Hondo Ohnaka was a really interesting character to do, and we really jumped into the whole idea behind him and his weak way bands, and we're going to go ahead and show the unit that he's going to be in. So this unit expansion is unique in that you can build either Hondo out of it as an operative, which we're going to look at next, or you can build the Hondo character into a generic pirate captain who upgrades the unit as an officer and adds some extra stuff to it. The weak ways, if you listened to or speculated on what was the unit that was the first big-sized unit that way overperformed what it should, it's this one right here. So these guys have been actually in the hopper for a long time, and it wasn't until we really got to the refresh and rebalance edition with the larger units and the new cover system that allowed for the scaling of dice to be better in terms of like getting more dice, less dice, that kind of stuff. That we were able to finally do this. So I think they've been sitting on Dallas's desk in plastic for a couple of years now. And we're finally at the point to where we're able to get the weekways out and everything else. And importantly enough, you know, I know a lot of Shadow Collective players have been wondering, when do I get some expansions? The weekways will slot into Shadow Collective as well, giving you a new unit option. And of course, we're just going to show Hondo's card, because why not? It's a big roadmap, and he sucked with me through all of this stuff. So we felt it was only fair. You're going to notice it looks like Hondo's card isn't complete. He's got a lot of X's there. That's just really weird, right? Well, his mood is based on profit. And that is a brand new Hondo-only keyword that says, those X's are equal to the pip value of the command card you just played. So I expect a lot of standing orders to be played now. We had to come up with a use for it, so there was. No, it creates a really fun play pattern where like there's a little bit of a mini game and you have to think about, do I really want Hondo to be extra good this round, or what am I doing? He has some very fun command cards as well. He can go lock you down with all of his weird stories that he likes to tell. Just a fun overall, really thematic character that the dev team was able to cook up. All right, there's one more. Hondo always said, walk softly, carry a big tank. So the WL05 speeder tank is coming. A lot of different options on this tank. It is the first big mercenary tank, I think, that is entering the game. So it's going to offer some opportunities to a lot of the different factions. And of course, Shadow Collective players, rejoice, you now have a big tank to carry as you walk softly as well. You'll see that it has a couple of different gunner options as well, so you can kit it out with Pike, you can kit out with Black Sun, you can kit out with the alien that nobody knows who his race is, because he doesn't actually have one, as we discovered, but he looks cool, and he rides a cool swoopy bike in Tatooine. So there you go. So the WL05 is going to be coming out alongside the Weekways as support. Really excited for this one. It offers some pretty unique opportunities. Fills an interesting role both within Shadow Collective and the other factions that are there. Let's look at the timeline after all the stuff that we looked at. So a whole full allotment of stuff to look forward to. We're really excited with the starters, with the new units and everything that are coming out. Of course, we have so much more cool things that we're going to be announcing as the year goes on, showing off, especially at the next roadmap. I think we have some really exciting surprises as we move into this next big phase of Legion. And the last thing we want to leave you with, because we know it's been a constant question, has been, okay, when are things coming back, right? I want to get X, Y, or Z, but I can't find it on my store shelves. It's been kind of moved out. Of course, a big part of the repackaging was we didn't want to leave stores stuck with a lot of like old product on the shelf, right? No matter how many times you tell people, hey, those miniatures are just as good as the new box, people look at that old box and they're like, yeah, I'd rather have the new box. So we've worked really hard to try to manage the overall transition of these products, but we also understand and want to make sure that all new players that are coming in, right? We're making a big push for all these new players. We want to make sure that they have those options and opportunities within that first year to be able to kit out their factions, to be able to find, you know, those strong choices to evolve with the meta as we see the games expand and grow and do different things within that. And so this roadmap hopefully gives you kind of a resource and a way to kind of put in a map, okay, I'm really struggling to find this, but I know that it's targeted for this release date, and we're going to see it come back. And of course, any unit that has a bigger size is going to come that way. Some of the soft plastics are going to come back as hard plastics. Some of these reissues will just be the soft plastics as we work towards completing the hard plastic revamp of the line. But again, that's a long process, and we want to make sure that we're balancing that against everything else. So all of this stuff will be available. We'll be posting all of that information as well. But this hopefully will provide a hefty roadmap and a handy little tool for you all to be sure to answer questions or to help new players as they see it and say, well, I really want this unit, but I can't find it anywhere. And you can say, okay, well, they kind of posted this. This is when it's supposed to be coming out, so you can plan around that. Let's pick some other things that you can use in the interim until you're able to grab that back. And so that concludes our Legion roadmap presentation. Or does it? It doesn't. Hotly requested or talked about ones. That's going to be April 15th. So Mark your calendars. April 15th, we're going to do our developer update. We're going to hop on a stream. We're going to have a little conversation about some of the rebalances that are available in the new print and play documents, some of the things that are on our watch list, some of the things that we're working on as we look forward to the next update for 2025, which will be in November, according to our twice a year kind of format that we've laid out last November. I want to point out a really big thing is that when this update happens and those card documents become available, you all, as first adopters and veterans of the game, will literally have the entirety of the refreshed Legion. You'll have it all. There'll be nothing left that's hiding or not there, so you'll be playing the complete and fully updated card version of the game as of April 15th. And our hope is that you'll have a blast doing so. You'll have a lot of time to kind of get acclimated to the new rules and the new system. And when we hit that moment, when we start bringing in new players, you'll be able to all serve as great mentors and great stewards of the community and bring those players in, answer their questions, and get them off and running to see the success that they want to see in order to become lifelong Legion players like we all have been. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you for the next 2 days. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy your con. Come see us, hang out. And we'll see you all tomorrow.